And I know what you're thinking, but it's not you. See, we as humans struggle with humility and selflessness and love for other people. But who can be our example? Jesus. Because although Jesus was fully man, he was also fully God, which means that he was the only perfect person to ever walk on the face of the earth. And Jesus also exhibits humility throughout his entire life. Like, just the way he was born was nothing equal to his splendor up in heaven. He was born in a stable in the midst of cows and sheep. His earthly parents weren't royal or wealthy, but all throughout his life, he knew he had a purpose. Jesus did not come to the earth to be served, but to serve. This meant he knew that he was to suffer for us to have a chance to have life. As Jesus was preaching the gospel, many people did not like what he was teaching, and they began to torture him. They flogged him and beat him. They put nails through his hands and through his feet to nail him to the cross. They mocked him and tortured him and put a crown of thorns on his head in mockery. As creator of the universe, in a split second, he could be off the cross and in heaven again, but he didn't do that because he loved us and he wanted to give us life. See, even in his excruciating pain, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." When his own beloved creations had beat him to the point where you couldn't recognize him and nailed him to a cross, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He loved them, and he prayed for them despite his circumstances. See, many times we fail to forgive others for the small and petty things, much less love on them. But it's in those times that we ought to remember the humility and selflessness that we see in what Jesus did. He didn't have to, but he died for all of us. He died for you. So let me leave you with some great news, the greatest news. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him would not perish, but have eternal